What we're going to talk about this week is our thoughts on what little we know of Marvel now.
Which is Marvel's affirmative action program. No, what is this? It's Marvel Now. That's an acronym for not only Wolverine, because they want you to know Fox still has the rights to their X-Men. No, Evan, what is Marvel Now?
Marvel Now is their kind of Marvel's answer to the New 52. It's also a epilogue for all this story that they've been telling for the past decade or so, starting with House of M, Civil War, the Secret Invasion, Siege.
They're kind of setting themselves up to write and draw the next 10 years of comics.
Yes. I'm trying to wrap all that stuff up. And it's not saying, like, forget those things happen, because it's Marvel and continuity means something in Marvel. But
well, they're not doing the 52 thing. They're not starting at every book at number one. You're going to see a lot of number ones on the shelf. Come October is really when this is starting. But they're going to space this out from October all the way into February, and you're going to see new titles, some relaunches, redesigns.
The new titles that they're doing, the main ones are Uncanny Avengers, which is their mega team, which you can guess what that is. A+X, which you can guess what that is as well. Uncanny by Rick Remender, who wrote Venom several years ago. And this is a big selling point, I think, is knowing who these authors and artists are and reading some of their previous work. That's what gives me confidence in this whole thing, is because I like all these people and I like what they've done.
Really, this is a strategy from a creative standpoint to take a lot of artists that have been writing these books for a couple of years now, or even more, and giving them something new to work on, and giving them an opportunity to work with new artists. You got Rick Remender and John Cassidy, right, who did Planetary.
Who did Planetary with Warren Ellis, and some work with Uncanny X-Men.
A+X is actually going to be like a showcase with different artists and different writers every issue. Well, and you got some big change-ups. You got Hickman, who we were kind of sad when we heard he wasn't writing Fantastic Four anymore, but he's going to be heading up the new Uncanny Avengers, right? Or not Uncanny.
Just regular
Avengers. New Avengers.
And New Avengers. He'll be writing that.
And Matt Fraction is going to be taking over Fantastic Four, and FF, actually. He's going to be a busy guy. He's always been a busy guy. So we have a lot of confidence that he'll be able to take those books. And it's a neat strategy, because after what Hickman did, I was a little hesitant. I was like, how are they going to find a writer to replace him? Like, who's going to get this job? I think Fraction can do it.
Well, we're sort of obligated to like Matt Fraction.
Yes.
That's not true. He's good.
No, you watch what he did with just picking up Iron Man when he started with that, and then taking on Thor right after Straczynski, and being able to just
totally
keep going. Like, take the ball and run.
With Mark Bagley, by the way. I want to say that too. Of Spider-Man fame. One of my favorite Spider-Man artists now, drawing Marvel's First Family. But he's not doing Thor anymore, so that means Jason Aaron, who also of Spider-Man fame, wrote some really good Spider-Man stories, is going to be picking up Thor #1. Thor God of Thunder #1 is what they're calling it. The Indestructible Hulk #1. And written by Eisner Award winner Mark Waid, is going to be writing The Indestructible Hulk. Which tell me your feelings on The Indestructible Hulk.
Okay, so
Ryan.
I'm looking at it's because they redesigned him. This is part of this revamp of the entire series. And he's got crew cut. He's got a buzz cut. Who cuts the Hulk's hair? Like, I understand. Like, when he's Banner, he gets his hair cut. He turns Hulk and it goes, "Blah!" And it just looks disheveled.
But now there's no Banner.
Now there's no Banner. Banner's a floating head. He's in a robot thing. So how's the Hulk get a nice fancy crew cut like that? Is someone And it's not his hair not as invulnerable as his skin?
It is.
Is he out there pinching each individual follicle? And if so, then why go high and tight with it? Why look like you buzzed it? And why the armor?
It's silly, yeah.
He's got armor.
Purple armor.
He's got purpley armor. Are they going to explain what that does?
I would hope so.
Is this the equivalent of pockets in the 90s? Are we having a Liefeld moment here?
Oh, kind of like panel armor?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and lots of pockets and stick swords.
Mm-hmm. It remains to be seen whether or not. And I know one particular Incredible Hulk fan who is not going to be pleased, I have a feeling. But
they're going to have to convince me pretty hardcore with that one. The art, though, looks phenomenal. Like, the way it's drawn is brilliant. It's what is drawn. I'm confused.
All new X-Men #1, which is the X-Men team from the 60s.
We brought Jean Grey back from the dead, and
we didn't
have to retcon anything.
Yeah.
Yay!
Some sort of weird time travel thing going on there. I don't know, but it's by Brian Michael Bendis again.
And okay, the classic X-Men were really cool, and I'm kind of glad to see him again.
Mm-hmm.
It still feels like a cheap shot bringing him back, but
it's an excuse. It's because of all the Phoenix stuff and the gotta have Jean Grey.
Because you can't have Jean Grey.
We can't bring her, but we've done enough bringing people back to life. Everybody knows that you hate that, so we'll time travel.
Anyway, all new X-Men.
Captain America is starting over. With
Remender
and
Romita Jr. So
Romita Jr.
I can't see that being
Captain
bad.
America.
And then Deadpool, Deadpool #1. I'm super excited about this. Jeff Darrow.
Just the cover art. Jeff Darrow is doing the cover art.
I know.
It's an amazing cover.
There's
and
cats and giant dinosaurs and shooting.
It's going to be really good. And Deadpool is co-written by comedian Brian Posehn, which if you know who that is, he's a pretty funny nerd. So he'll be writing...
which seems to fit. Let's get an actual comedian to write Deadpool.
A comic book.
You know what? It's come full circle.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, and if you listen to Marvel and what they're saying, is this is going to be a very creator-driven project. Well, what they're trying to do is give new readers an opportunity to get involved. You know, you're not going to walk into the comic shop and go, I don't know where to start. There's big numbers on these books. You'll be able to pick up at #1, or with something like A+X, you can just pick it up for the fun of it. There's a lot of one-shot kind of stuff. It's what the impression I'm getting.
5 years from now, this will be where you'll tell people this is a good jumping off point if you haven't read Marvel books in a while. Because what I do now is it's Civil War. It's like, oh, you haven't read comics in over 10 years? Start with Civil War. And that's pretty much the root of everything that's going on now. 5 years from now, I'll be saying that about Marvel now.
With the New 52, everything started back at #1, which, what was it, September? Mm-hmm. Last September, about a year ago. That made for great sales for September. How's that working for him currently?
Marvel is outselling DC again. And I think it's a better marketing strategy for Marvel to space this thing out rather than like hit you all at once like DC did. And not that it didn't work, and not that those things weren't good. This isn't a DC bash.
But it does. It makes it hard to get involved again. If you missed issue 1 last year, what's going on? Where am I?
And that's the thing too about Marvel is these things are much more connected than DC. What's happening in Batman doesn't necessarily relate to what's happening in Superman. A lot of times it flat out doesn't at all. What's happening in the Fantastic Four is relevant to what's happening in the Incredible Hulk. Things like that, especially with the impression we get from what they're trying to do now. Not so much in the past couple of years, but that seems like what they're aiming towards is an overall arc for the universe, not just per title, per character.
Can we talk about
what do you want to talk about?
FF and Miss Thing? Literally called Miss Thing. What's her backstory? What's the story on this?
Apparently, they all four picked somebody. The Fantastic Four is going off planet for some indeterminate amount of time or whatever. So they all picked one person to like run the Baxter Building while they're gone. And it doesn't matter who picked who, except that Johnny Storm picked some supermodel that he slept with the night before and put her in a Thing suit.
So it's the Thing body, and then they put a supermodels, and they're calling her Miss Thing. Okay, guys, seriously, I'm with you. Now exclamation point.
Ben.
Okay, fine, but
It's not your fault, Ben.
If they kill her in the first comic book, I'm buying them all, though.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that right now.
It's written by Matt Fraction.
It's a challenge. He lost a bet, didn't he? Yeah.
I bet he did lose a bet. I bet that's what happened.
And out of this whole Marvel Now exclamation point thing that's going on, if you've seen like the big splash image, and then at the very bottom you got Rocket Raccoon in his first appearance with other known Marvel Universe characters. They're getting ready to actually make a movie of Guardians of the Galaxy in our lifetime.
That's the point of that Marvel Now image that we've been seeing for the most part, is that Rocket Raccoon front and center because of this movie.
Yep.
So, which is I got no problem with tying Guardians of the Galaxy more into the mainstream titles. That's fine because it's a pretty cool title. There's cool characters in there. It's fun to read. It's been a lot more cosmic.
See, there's a lot of titles we actually haven't heard anything about how Marvel Now is going to affect them. Spider-Man.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know what's going to be happening.
Don't really know what's going to happen there because what numbers are they up into now?
So approaching 700.
Approaching 700. Yeah, 692.
Yeah,
is out right now. I'd be sad to see that go all the way back down to 1. I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So lots to come. Red Hulk is turning into Red She-Hulk.
Well, there's already a Red She. The title is changing. They're keeping the numbers for Hulk and changing the title to Red She-Hulk. So it'll be about Betty. Anyway. Oh, you ruined the Mexican standoff. Thing took PIM particles.
Ah! Oh, yeah.
Clobbering time. Ultron, you let go. Oh, damn it.
We should.
Now we're just playing with toys. Whatever. We'll see, man. Next time.
Next time.
Marvel Now.
Marvel Now! Exclamation point. Marvel Now! It's like Serenity Now, but Marvel. It's current. It's now. Marvel Now! Ridiculous.